Hello everyone and welcome to Meeple Leaf Reviews. I'm Jeffrey Weber and today I'm going to be doing a review of Clans of Caledonia, where you were the head of a Scottish clan in the 19th century. You're going to be producing goods locally and then using them to fulfill contracts to bring more resources into your homeland, and the player who best does that is going to be the winner. Now, I've done a how to play and playthrough of this game. I'll include a link down in the description below, so definitely go and check that out. I'm also going to be doing this review a little bit differently than what I've done before, so let's get to the table and see what I think about Clans of Caledonia. So here I have the game components set up, and I just wanted to highlight a couple of the different aspects of this game. The first being the player tableau. You're going to be able to build workers, which are going to earn you money for income, or production buildings, which will earn you resources. Now, the money is what you're going to use to build all the different types of buildings, and the resources are going to be used to complete these export contracts. Now, rather than them being completely separate types of resources or having a fixed conversion rate, the way the game goes about converting the two is through this player-driven market. So the more someone buys a particular type of good, the more value it becomes. Or if someone sells a lot of a good, the less valuable it becomes. So it adds this dynamic of converting one between the other. The other thing that it does is it means that you're never stuck with resources that you can't use or with money that you can't utilize. If you see that all the contracts are showing bread and you have whiskey, well, sell your whiskey and buy bread. Or if you want to build a particular type of building, you can sell your goods to get the money to fund being able to build that type of building. The other thing that it helps accomplish is getting more efficient with the actions that you're doing. So if you see something is very valuable, well, that'll be a good time to sell it, not to buy it. So it adds a timing element in to when you're doing each particular type of buying or selling action, depending on what other players are doing around the board. The other thing about this game is that there's end of round scoring. Now, the thing that I like the most about this is that it's not scoring for something that you do in that particular round. It's something that's going to be looking at everything that you've done throughout the game leading up to that point. So the earlier you plan for these round scorings, the better you're going to be able to do. So it allows you to, the further you can think ahead and put plans into action to score these later ones, the better you're going to be able to do throughout the game. So it adds another layer of efficiency that you can try and achieve by planning ahead for these scoring rounds rather than simply being something that you do in that particular round. The other thing that's neat about this is the imported goods that you're going to get for completing these contracts. How they're going to score at the end of the game is based on how abundant each one is. So the one that's been imported the least is going to be worth the most points, which means that if you take a contract for that, well, maybe you're going to bump that one up to make it worth even less points. So it's not a simple, straightforward of, I want to get something that's worth the most points. It's more dynamic, it's more fluid, it's going to be more dependent on how everyone is playing around the table. Now, there's another aspect of this game that I really enjoy, and that's kind of comboing your actions together to be able to pass earlier in the round. Because the earlier you pass, the little bit more money you're going to earn, as well as when these contracts refill, you're going to be able to see what's there and potentially take them first before other players. Now, the way that you go about doing that is through the neighboring bonuses. So when you build a building next to an opponent, you can trade at the market for that particular type of good. So you get a build and a trade action all in one go. And if you build next to multiple buildings, types of buildings, you can do multiple trades. So you're getting 1, 2, 3 actions all in one go. As well as with completing an export contract, some of them give you upgrade bonuses, which even more condense your action efficiency, or even potentially building on a hex, reducing the cost of that hex to 0, allowing you to build, which then if you build next to an opponent's building, you can get a trade action. And even if you built the 4th of a particular production building, then you can grab a new export contract by drawing 3 from the stack. So you can combo a lot of actions together with one single action, meaning that you'll be able to hopefully pass early in the round. So figuring out how you're going to combo all those things together is a really neat thing that I like about this game. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about the pacing of the game. I really like that it gives you a large influx of cash up front, so you feels like you can get quite a bit accomplished in that very first round and really set yourself up. And then it's kind of a slow progression through the second and fourth rounds of building up, being able to do more and more. But that initial influx of catch is really nice. You don't feel like you're starting off at a crawl. You really feel like you're sprinting out of the gates in this game. Now, I've played this game at 2-player and 3-player, and talking about the player interaction, I definitely feel like there's a little bit more in the 3-player because there's more opportunity for those neighboring bonuses to trigger those special trade actions, as well as a little bit more competition over the export contracts. So definitely more player interaction in 3-player, but I still do enjoy it at 2-player. The other place where player interaction comes in is that these hexes have costs associated with them. So trying to scoop up those cheaper hexes to be a little bit more efficient with your money, getting your buildings out, is also another key point. Plus trying to block people from access to these special port bonuses that you'll be able to take advantage of in the game. Cutting off their access to that is another point of player interaction, as well as there's a settlement bonus at the end of the game, so potentially cutting people off from connecting up too large string of settlements can be another place where people are going to be interacting. The other thing with more players, this market becomes more dynamic than with just 2, so that's another plus for having it with more players. But I do still really enjoy the 2-player game. Now for the variability, there's quite a bit in the setup. You have these round bonuses that are going to be random, how they come out, as well as which ones come out. There's some extra in the game. There's the port bonuses, which are going to be randomly assigned, and then there's even more that'll be available. As well as how the export contracts come out. You're going to be dealt or be able to select a particular type of clan that gives you a special ability, and they're going to be paired with different starting resources. So these are really cool. They give you a special ability, something that you're going to be able to work towards, as well as when you play different games with different clans, it has a kind of different feel to what you're going to be shooting for. As well as the map is also variable. There's 4 tiles that are each double-sided, so you have quite a different number of configurations that you can have for the map. But the good thing about a lot of this variability is that it's not randomness. It's not occurring throughout the game. Other than the export contracts, how they're coming out, you can see what the round bonuses are going to be at the beginning of the game. You can see what the map looks like, and you know what your clan is at the beginning. So there's variability in setup, but not a whole lot of randomness throughout the game, with the exception of these export contracts. The one last thing that I wanted to mention about this game is that I really feel that it's all about gaining those extra efficiencies. It's about, seeing what the round bonuses are and working towards them efficiently, using your money efficiently, getting those cheap hexes, getting the contracts that allow you to bundle your actions together to be able to pass earlier to get that little bit of extra cash, using the market efficiently. If you see something is valued high, maybe selling that good and buying something that's cheap. Efficiently using these port bonuses is also another neat aspect of this game. So the game is all about finding these little efficiencies here and there and how you're going to be able to do things, as well as how are you going to place out your buildings to maximize that settlement scoring for at the end of the game, which can be quite significant. So I really like that little bit of efficiency that you're trying to gain, and the more you play, the more you unlock and become more comfortable with navigating through this kind of little efficiencies here and there. So on to my final thoughts and rating for Clans of Caledonia. Now I rate on a 1 to 6 scale. I'm going to give this game a 5 out of 6. I really enjoy this game. I think that it's very clean design, and I think that the gameplay is very smooth throughout the game. I really like games that are about efficiency, and this game definitely feels that it's about making every dollar count throughout the game. So it's a puzzle every time you sit down with all the different variability. So every game is slightly different, and it's all about how can I get the most out of my resources in this game. I thoroughly enjoy it. I would highly recommend this game to other people. If you like this review, go down and hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we will see you guys next time.